I first met Michelle Blair 2017. We were both in segregation. I was serving my ticket for a staff assault. She was serving her ticket for originally a prisoner assault, but then while she was in seg, she kept catching tickets on tickets, so that's how she ended up doing 2 years in seg. After I was released from segregation, they made me a porter, which means I still go to, seg and mop and sweep, clean up, take out trash, just to get me out the room. So one day, this girl that I was cool with at the time, she was in segregation. She was literally right next door to Michelle Blair. So I'm passing letters, and food and, candy and things like that under the door. Michelle Blair, mad, miserable, I guess, at the time, come to the door. Oh, bitch, you crackhead looking bitch. She down here passing stuff. She don't supposed to be passing us. So I'm looking like, is this lady serious? Like, she really yelling out the door saying this. So you know me, everybody know me. I'm like, bitch, if you don't get the fuck out that fucking door, I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I'm not them fucking kids, bitch, and it's not fucking that. And I'm like, so we going back and forth. I said, bitch, so I know how to shut her down. I said, bitch, you should have put those kids in the stainless steel freezer instead of that old project-ass freezer. You should let them go out in style if you was going to kill them. So after that, everything got quiet. So everybody like, oh, my God. And I'm like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. She like, when I get out of said, what I'm going to do, you got to see me. I'm like, oh, okay, bitch, I can't wait. So like 90 days later, they end up releasing Michelle Blair. Of course, nothing happened. She forgot about it. I forgot about it because I said what I had to say, and it was that. She became this girl named Barb Davis, Bunky. So her and Barb wasn't getting along, I guess, whatever. So I'm laying in the bed one day. Michelle worked in the chow hall. They gave her a job. So she knocked on my door. I get up. She like, boy, come here. I'm like, what's going on? What's up? She like, do you mind if I come in here and be your bunkie? My bunkie had just went to level 2 on grounds. We in level 4. So I'm like, oh, I don't give a fuck, if they put you in here, that's what happened. It's not my fucking room. This is the prison, state property. So she like, okay. So like 5 to 10 minutes later, the police came up knocking on the door. They like, Adams, come here. I'm like, what? They like, you sure you want Michelle in here? We know how you are, dude. I'm like, yeah, this not, I'm not scared of no bitch. I'm like, this the state shit. If y'all put her in here, this where the fuck she go. I'm just doing my time and I'm going home. I don't have to be here for the rest of my life. So if whoever y'all put in here, y'all can put Jeffrey Dahmer here. That man have to do his time and I'm going to do mine. And that's just what the fuck it's going to be. So she ended up coming in there being my bunkie. We end up being cool, because everybody know how I am. So they ask questions like, how was it in there? Y'all good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sleeping like a baby in here at night, like a farting shit, eating good, everything. Yeah, it what? Like, okay, she killed her kids. They wasn't my kids. They wasn't your kids. They was hers. So how do y'all want me to react to this lady in this room just because her case was high profile and it was on the news, world news, internet here and there? So everybody like, why you supposed to feel some type of way? Like, no, I'm not. I just here to do my time and get the fuck on. I'm not God. I'm supposed to judge her. No, I don't agree with what she did. And I did used to tell her in the room, like, if it was me, I would have just beat the fuck out of my kids if I felt like they was raping my son, and turned their ass in or put them the fuck out, got them the fuck on. But I'm like, I don't think I would have just went to the extent to beating them to death, putting them in the freezer, holding them there for 3 years. Yeah, it was just over the top. And I told her, like, I just couldn't do it, but I don't judge you. So over the course of time, me and Michelle, we developed a friendship because we were in level 4 for a 23-hour lockdown, locked in the room. So what else are we going to do in here? So the prison ended up giving Michelle Blair a TV because they was so scared of her, so she could be good and don't fight them and go to sex. So they ended up giving her a TV. So I would be on the bottom bunk. She was on the top. She'll be watching her TV. I'll be watching mine. And one of her favorite shows to watch was Teen Mom. And I used to be like, bitch, that's weird. You up there watching motherfucking Teen Mom? And I would hear her say shit like, stupid bitch, why you still fucking with her? And I'd be like, I hop up like, bitch, now come on, now the nerve. You on there telling them girls what they should do about their kids. Like, how, Michelle? And you put the fucking killjoys, bitch. She like, no, Bunky or no, Brooke. But the thing is, these bitches is young and dumb. I was grown. I knew what I did. I'm like, bitch, this shit is crazy. So, yeah, like I said, we would watch TV, watch our little shows together, and then it would come like at night, I would think about shit, and I would think about them kids, and I'm like, damn, I have to know what were you thinking, you know? And I would wake up and I'd be like, Michelle, or she'll be like, she'll just doze off, and I'll be there thinking, I'll be like, Michelle, bitch, I hit the top of the bunk. Bitch, how could you do that? And I'm like, you was in that house for 3 years with them kids, bitch? Like, yeah. She like, yes, Bunky, like, it is what it is. Like, I did it. And I know for sure that it was a mistake, but she trying to portray to the world, you know, like she meant to do it, but I know that she really didn't. She knew she was going to have to go for the rest of her life, so fuck yeah, you have to portray this role like you were the big bad wolf. Yeah, I meant to kill the kids. Yeah, I'll do it again, but that's not the case, you know. I remember this one day, Michelle, Blair, we were in a room. Now, me and her, we always got along. We never, like, had words. Only thing she would irritate me about is she would get in this fucking door and she'll get into it with these bitches, and we locked in the room. So, Michelle, is nothing you can do, bitch. She would get in this door and yell to the top of her lungs, oh, bitch, wait till they open the doors for breakfast in the morning. What I'm gonna do to you, da-da-da. I just got, you know, sometimes I would find it funny because we were locked in a room for 23 hours, so it was entertainment for a minute. Then it got to be overbearing because the next day when the door opened, nothing would happen. So I'm like, listen, bitch, you gonna stop getting up in this door yelling with these bitches back and forth. I'm starting to get fucking headaches. You blowing my fucking highlight. We not gonna do this, Michelle. Stop, you know. So that would be the only time that, you know, we have a problem. She was very clean. See, I couldn't see like the YouTube videos and everything that the world seen. So once I came home and looked at them videos, I'm like, Michelle, you was living in that house like that, living like that with them kids. That house was filthy. But you would not be able to tell that she was nasty like that living in prison. The bitch, you could eat off the fucking floor. She took her shoes off, made sure everything was clean and wiped down. Like that right there fucked me up because she was so OCD in prison. And she would take 30 minutes to an hour long showers, like very clean. She would be so clean, it would be ash, you know, literally white. So when I seen the videos, I'm like, this bitch was nasty at home. Like, oh, fuck nah, bitch. Like, was them fucking kids really touching that boy? Like, it was a lot of shit that she told me contradict, you know, what the YouTube is saying, and like, you know, what I'm really hearing from the news now that I'm out here and able to listen and hear and get people different sides of the story that knows her, you know. Michelle, I know Michelle, she would go to bat for me a lot, you know, because she felt like I was her only friend at the time. She felt like she could trust me with information. She felt like I didn't judge her as far as her case. So she was very comfortable with me to the point where she had started getting like a obsession, you know, to where people couldn't say nothing to me. So they're like, oh, leave my Bunky alone. She's straight. She don't need that, you know, or Bunky, you need a microwave. You need a phone. Like, you know, it was to the point like she'll do anything for me. And I knew that she would like fuck somebody up for me, like the police. I probably could have had Michelle Blair fuck up the warden, but I just didn't. I was cool with her, so I didn't use her, you know, like that. And I felt like she knew that, and she like, okay, this lady genuinely fucks with me. She don't have me out here on no dumbass bullshit, you know, like she really have love for me. And I show her that. Let me see, Michelle. She wrote me cards and everything, like for my birthday. She'll give me cards like, happy birthday, Bunky. You know, thank you for being a good Bunky. Thank you for not judging me. I love you, and I can't wait till you go home and do good things. I know you're going to do good things, you know, once you get home. A couple of times, probably like 3 different times, I call home for her. I call because she has 2 living children, and her aunt has custody of those kids. So I would call the aunt's phone for her, and she would be like, she had talked to her auntie, and I remember the one time she did call, the first time she ever talked to them. After everything happened, she just bawled and broke down. She like, I didn't mean to, you know, auntie. She like, I love y'all. I'm sorry. She like, you gotta listen. I just have to explain to you. This is what she was saying to the auntie. I'm like, dang, that's deep. And I'm just standing back listening. Like, dang, I could just imagine what they're going through on the other end of the phone, you know, like knowing everything, the news, you know, and the family gossiping, he said, she said. But I remember she didn't talk on the phone a lot. And I did, like I said, I called like 3 times for her, but she did not talk on the phone. She did not receive money. She didn't receive mail or anything like that. It's like I used to give Michelle stuff and she'd give it back. So I have to make her So what I would do was I cook her food, you know, put it on her dresser, you know, her bed, and let her, you know, get her food like that. Michelle Blair was like very humble when it came to things like that. Like she didn't want no handouts because she didn't want to make it seem like people did things for her.